Welcome back to another part of the episode on the recovery truck build. It's Sunday. I'm taking full advantage of an empty workshop, so I thought I'd come in, get a couple hours done today to get a bit in front, and then we've got a bank holiday, so I've got the workshop all again tomorrow. So I'm going to take full advantage of today, tomorrow, to get as much as I can done on this build. Don't know where we're going to do today. I'm probably going to look at drive shafts, gear cables, possibly this front support. I think that's going to be a major one. I'm going to put the front end back on to see, whether it does have a front cradle, because again, I've never stripped this. I'm going to try and fit the radiator. Don't really know what I'm going to end up doing, but keep watching and we'll get some progression on this build to see where it ended up by the end of play today. So let's explain the first job that I'm on with. I'm on with tying this front engine mount into here. I've just got the radiator on, and it seems that the radiator's on its own plastic housing, so I can't mount anything off that, so I've got to make kind of like a little additional frame to tie in this engine mount. So what I've made is just some basic box section, which is going to go something like that, which then it'll frame the front, and then I've got a point here where then I can take two braces off to pick up this engine mount to stop the rock. So made that. I'm going to weld it in situ now. Yeah, quite happy with how it's looking. Should be quite a nice little fix, that. So what I've made for this mount, obviously you've seen me do the support. I've just made two little brackets. Yes, I've folded them. You don't really need to be folded, but I've got the equipment, so I've folded them, and they will go on like so, either side, and then I've reinforced that mount, and everything's nicely welded and everything's supported. So let's get these welded on, and I'll show you when it's all finished. So that's the front stabilizing mount all welded up, and the engine now is all secure from rocking. So that's all four engine mounts done. A little subframe done. Quite happy with how this has turned out. And then for the welding police, no spot welds, all seamed. So all mounted, all in. Radiator seems to fit in front of this subframe. So now it's literally make it, watertight, airtight, and get on with gears. But I think for the rest of the day, I'm going to look at drive shafts, even though I think I'm one missing, but I'm still going to have a go, and I'm going to have a go at gear cables. So let's see where they end up. So what I've done now is I've put the van on some chocks to get it a little bit up in the air. So basically I've got full suspension loaded up. So then what I can do is when I build the drive shafts, I know that's basically the level it's going to be when it's driving on the road. So all the weight now, like I say, is on the suspension. Drive shaft angle should be as straight as possible. So let's get on with making the drive shafts. And what I do with that is I cut the inner end of the Vetra, outer end of the Movano, and then I basically sleeve them, or I'll machine them into each other and weld them together, and that's how I make the drive shafts. So let's get on with that process now, and I'll show you what happens. So this is where I'm up to. What I've done is I've made a bar which is identical from the edge of the hub, edge of the gearbox. So it gives me a mock-up of how long basically this edge against the gearbox and this edge against the hub needs to be. So I've got basically a permanent fixing. I've cut these down to somewhere where I can use them and put them in the lathe. And they're my two shafts, literally, obviously not complete, but they're kind of, I can work with that. I'm not going to go into more detail in this video about how to make shaft. I will do a complete video on making the shafts, because I think people will be interested, because it's one thing that people are worried about. But that's where you start off. I've measured them on situ. I've measured them with the full compression of the suspension. Let's get on with taking the engine back out, getting everything painted up and primered, getting the engine back in, build this front end up, and then I can start assembling slowly, little bits and pieces as I go, because obviously now we're on Bank Holiday Monday and I'm running out of time, and I need to get this done and out the workshop so we can get back in work to normal on Tuesday for the lads to get cracking. So yeah, that's where we're up to. So that's the front end back on now. Obviously it's got to come all back off, but you know, it's more to check clearances and stuff and to get it assembled. So to look in the bay, yeah, it does sit, you know, low down, but always remember that there is an air box here on the original engine, so it sits about right where it was. I've just put these water pipes on to see if they're easy enough joined to the original water pipes. They are. Boost pipes look easy enough to do. You know, I'm quite pleased with where I'm up to this weekend. You know, getting it all mounted, getting it ready. So now it's literally take it outside, and I want to spend a good couple of hours deep cleaning the full lot, because, like I say, it's been sat for ages. Look at the windscreen, you know, it's full of grime, and I want to give it a right good deep clean to get it, you know, in a bit of nicer condition for, obviously, for when we start, you know, building the bed, getting the car running. I want to make sure this is, you know, everything's perfect and everything's right for moving forward. So put the bonnet down, let's get it outside and let's give it a good clean. So that's the cab all jet washed. To be fair, 10 times better. I hope the time lapse has shown me like cutting the lines in the probably the 5 years of dirt it's been stud. So no, it's quite a level thing, quite straight. There's a couple of bits missing, a couple of dings, but for a van which has probably done, I think off the top of my head, I think it was 170,000. You know, it's in pretty good condition. I can't really complain for what I paid for it neither. So now we're going to start jet washing the back. And it seems to be covered in Armorite Smooth, which, bad thing, it's going to take a nightmare to clean off. Good thing, it saved the chassis from rotting. So quite happy with that. Quite disappointed I've got to sit there now and jet wash it all off. Same with the wheels. I'm going to get them all powder coated. But I've got some cool ideas for the truck body itself, for the front. I'm going to have it all, you know, vinyl wrapped. It's going to look pretty smart. And to be fair, that there is the only bit of rust on the thing which hasn't gone through. It's just where people have been catching the feet. So no, it's quite an honest truck. I'll turn it into something nice, and it's going to be pretty one-off and pretty custom. So yeah, quite happy with that. Let's get on with this bed. Fingers crossed that'll come up nice, and then I think that's the end of my day. So just finishing jet washing the bed. Obviously it's come up a bit cleaner. Again, not brand new, but again, I think the Armorite Smooth definitely saved the chassis because there's not a piece of rot on it. But look at all the paint that's come off that I've got to clean up now. So, no, quite happy with progress. For literally, you know, 2.5 days work, engine's in, it's all fully cleaned, and I can start making progress. So now it's going to go back into a bit of storage because I've got a couple of other little projects to finish off. And then what I'll do in the meantime is I'll make the drive shafts. So you'll have a video of me making the drive shafts and showing how I do that. And then I think the next video on the truck will be fitting the drive shafts, fitting the boot, making and installing boost pipes, getting all the water system pipes in. So then, as I said before, it can go over to the Wizard of the West. The Wizard of the East. I'm the Wizard of the West. Wizard of the East for him to do his wiring, and we can get this thing running, and then he can come back for all the custom work, like the bed, like the full body and everything like that. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.